So welcome to the Get More Clients for Your Coaching Business, or Get Paying Clients for Your Coaching Business workshop. This is number 6 in the series. And I know I was speaking with Kev earlier on. I found out where the other 2 are, by the way. So I'll let you know. I found them. They're on a different website. I'll sort those out. So there's a sequence of these ones coming through. And tonight we're talking about what do you do when you've had your first coaching session. We covered that last time round. Now it's the first 90 days, first quarter. What are the critical things you've got to do? How do you treat people? What are the objectives? What are the targets? All that sort of thing. But there are some key things that, just in my experience, we've probably got to do in the first 90 days that maybe we don't do in the second, third, or fourth 90 days. But the first 90 days is really critical because there's a saying in coach world and franchise world and all sorts of things in sales that people have we call a 90-day wobble, where you get a new client, a new customer, a new student, a new whatever it is. It happens in martial arts. It happens all over the place, where a new student turns up and they don't make it to 90 days. They wander off and they leave. And it happens in all businesses as well. But there's some tools and techniques we can go through that will not guarantee they're going to stay with you, but will help insulate you from this 90-day wobble process. So that's the subject for this evening. Gareth, good to see you, mate, again. And I know I said I'll do a quick intro and I'll just launch over to you with the question so I can sit and think for a while. So the first 90 days, what are your top 75 tips for the first 90 days?
Yeah.
I'm going to get a deal or something.
In no less than an hour, defend your answer. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, okay. I think so. I think for me, I mean, and I know you've got a similar story. I won my first client, and I phoned home, and my wife said, what happens now? And I went, I don't know. Nobody told me this. Nobody said I actually had to do coaching. I thought I was in a sales and marketing thing. And so I think, so for me, first of all, the first session is very much a heavy planning session. And I call it an alignment, but it's a planning day for whatever, for everybody else. And above and beyond that, quick wins.
Yeah,
I am now looking for quick wins so I can earn my fee so that I'm free to the client. Yeah. And I literally have a list.
So 75 long.
So yeah, basically, and it's all centered around, do they invoice properly? What's their profit margin like? What are their numbers? Is there any dead wood in the business? I'm trying to uncover my fee basically very quickly. I always say I can do it within 6 months, but I always have a bet with myself that I can do it within 3, because I've never taken longer than that to find my fee. Yeah. But that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for quick wins. But the other thing I'm looking to do is I'm looking to ensure that the coachee, the business owner, has the right behaviors. So I'm making sure that they're learning. I'm giving them books to read. I'm also not we have a thing in our industry, over servicing a client. I think it's important to be responsive early, but then not too responsive, because you train that behavior. And if they phone you at 10 o'clock or they email you at 10 o'clock and you reply, then you're always going to be doing that. Yeah. So I try and train the right behaviors. And it's just like a child, really. You praise the behavior you want, don't you? And that's kind of how I do it. It's literally like training a dog or training a child.
We won't tell your clients that, all right? It's just secret between us.
Yeah. But I'm also going through, I'll pick a week, and the first 6 weeks certainly, I'm going through some generalized principles. So I'm doing things like the formula for change. Yep. With them, Gleichmann's formula, I think, and I'm doing things. I'm making sure that they're taking ownership, and I'm asking the question. If they come up with, nobody does their homework the first week. I don't know if you found this, but
I found it that some clients don't do the homework regularly, actually. But anyway,
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, but nobody does the homework the first week, and I think it's really important how you respond to that, because that sets the tone for whether you accept that behavior or not, right? So I think that's certainly the first 6 weeks. Quick wins, forming the behavior, making sure that they're a learning client. That's what I do.
I had a conversation with a new client. It was recently. It doesn't matter who he is, but they started, and when they start, we had this when we talked about the first coaching session in the sales meeting, and I was really clear on, or they were really clear on what they wanted to achieve in terms of the first 12 months and the 5-year plan and growth and development, all this sort of thing. And when we started on the first 90 days, we got out the blocks. I don't ignore the long-term vision and goals and plans, but I always look at I call it housekeeping, because as you said, there's certain basic things. And this guy, he was charging for his time. It's like a legal firm or something. And I said, well, his biggest challenge he felt was profitability in the business. Not profitable enough. Okay, great. We need to try and fix that. But he thought it was he needed to put his prices up because he was not making any profit and margin out of all this sort of thing. Put your prices up. And what I've also found is when somebody tells you this sort of thing, don't believe them, because they don't know, not in an unkind way, but they don't know. So he said, I'll put my prices up. What do you think? I said, well, yeah, great. Put your prices up. That's all good. But show me the numbers. And what he was doing wasn't a pricing issue. He was quoting, let's say 10 hours work time to do a particular piece of legal work. And it was taking them 25 hours to do it, which was obviously showing up as margin loss. So the prices were actually fine. It was productivity efficiency. So if we scrapped the sort of the long-term vision and goals for the first quarter and just got the productivity and efficiency sorted out, well, what that did gave him an instant hit of profitability, of cash flow, of feel good, of control. And what I found was that in the first 90 days, we fixed the broken things that he didn't know were broken. When we got to the end of that first 90 days, he reviewed his long-term plan, because his long-term plan was to sell the business. Because he got it under control, he fell back in love with the business. This is great. I love this. I'm enjoying it. I don't want to sell it now. And now I want to keep it, grow it, and make it into a legacy and hand it over to the kids. And it just, so I think we've got to be real careful that the goals that people set at day one, based on the vision and the understanding they have, can change on day 91 when they get some comfort or wins or confidence or whatever we call it. So I do tend to sort of not scrap the goal, but just park the long-term goal just in case they've chosen it for a reason that we can fix in the interim. But like yourself, I want to find my fee. We should be free to our clients within 90 days. The coaching should be free and sort of paid for itself as we go along. But I think it's changing that. The goal is not true for some people, and that was a big learning for me, because it's okay to change your mind and allow them to explore things as you go along.
Yeah, totally. And ask those questions. So you might say something like, I think we need to do some marketing to grow the business. Absolutely, totally agree with you. Just out of interest, what's your profit margin at the moment? Well, I don't know. Well, what, you're going to sell more stuff and lose more money? What are you trying to achieve here? But I think there's, I know I've said it before in this series, and I think it's worth reiterating at this point, because there's two things that happen when a client starts. One is overwhelm. And the other is underwhelm, right? And because if you've done your sales and marketing correctly, they're really excited to get started. And you say something like, okay, so we talked about your time. I really want to get that under control. Brilliant. Okay, plan your time. What? That it? That's it, right? And I think underwhelm is a huge problem, because we've got a great series of tools, but you're just telling them to plan their time. Well, I could have done this without you. Let's see how that goes.
I think there's a danger as well, and I've done it in the last 20 years, in the early days, and I see other coaches do it as well, where they sort of over promise. We all shifted around then for a second. That's okay. We people over promise. We say we're going to fix this and do that and create this, and they end up doing spreadsheets and analysis and all this, and the coach goes away doing all the work and comes and reports back to the client, and they fall into consultant mode. Whereas our job is not that at all. Our job is to identify and then encourage progress to be made when we're not around, if you like, by using other resources. But then they go in, they do over service. And I will say to the clients as well, in terms of the pace, because I think all of us on the call here, we're coaches because We want to, engage and help people, but we can move at a pace as well. We can get stuff done. We can juggle things. I know everybody here, has done amazing things in their lives and their careers, and they can do, everything at once. But all the clients can't do that. And I will use the Goldilocks question with clients regularly. And it's simply this: what's the pace? Is it too fast? Is it too slow? Or is it just right? And I think getting that pace right to avoid the either underwhelm if we're not going fast enough, or the overwhelm if we're going too fast, as you say. And it's just it's a temperature check, because I can run at a heck of a pace. I think I can get things going and push through, and I make observations, all this sort of thing. But if it's the first time anybody's worked with a coach, they can just go, this is just way too much. You can normally increase the pace over time, but it's good to check. Are they? Because they'll just say, yeah, I've got it, I'm doing the indications would be they're not doing the reading, they're not doing their homework, they're not doing the reports, they're not doing their objective sheets, whatever it is. And if they're not doing some things, it's perfectly okay to slow it down, because it depends on them. What could be a very fast pace for, I have a client who works in the compliance department at one of the big banks in Luxembourg, and snails move faster than him. They just do. He's a lovely, lovely guy. But oh my goodness, it's like, crikey, we're going to do this week. Well, they might take longer than a week. It's only a book. I sent him the the Places You'll Go, the Dr. Seuss book, the pamphlet one, about 20 pages. Oh my goodness, that was like 2 months work to read that. It was just, anyway. But he was.
I think we're sorry. You just said something which I'm just going to write down. Objective sheet. I just need to. That's a good idea. That is to have those objective sheets. I think we've done such a good job of selling or overselling, maybe, to get a client, because we might be so desperate for clients.
Yeah.
It's really easy for us to fall into the trap of, we need to please the client.
Absolutely.
Whereas actually it's the other way around. The client needs to please us.
Yes.
And again, if you've done your sales and marketing correctly, they should be in a position where they want to do all the stuff for you, and they shouldn't be asking you to do all that stuff, because they should understand. You have to position everything. Position isn't everything; it's the only thing. That's the thing I say. And I think the other thing is to see numbers, to see evidence, to see facts.
Yeah.
And when they say, oh yeah, I'm getting loads of leads into the business, great, show me. Sure. Like, literally, what are their names? Yes. Are those booked appointments, or are they prospects or leads, or where on the ladder are they? I've got, don't worry, profit isn't the problem in my business. Yeah, right, brilliant, show me. Yeah. Or the classic, Gareth, don't need to worry about conversion rate. Conversion rate, 90%, easy, without even thinking about it. Yep. Brilliant, show me. Because it never is 90%, right? So I think it's seeing that evidence and seeing the numbers. That's important.
And do you find, I think there's the three pieces of the coaching relationship that I use, and we spoke about before earlier on, is there's a transactional, how do you do stuff, transformational, which is the mindset, attitudes and behaviors, and then the accountability. And I think accountability has to be sort of fitted around the client. There are some clients that actually want to be tough. They want the military approach, right, get it done now, hang up, call me back when you finish it, bang, 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 off you go. I've got some clients, I know if I did that to them, I'd never see them again. They'd feel offended, and they feel upset. And you've got to do the accountability with a twinkle in your eye. They need to know that you're going to be accountable, but you've got to fit the pace around them, because I've seen a lot of coaches, when they say that they're taught or trained to hold people accountable, and they do, but it just irritates people. It just basically pisses people off. And some people can take it. And I know some coaches out there that they make a badge of honor when they go and beat their clients up. Nobody gets away with stuff with me, and it's all this rah-rah sort of thing. There are some clients that are okay with that. Not many, I don't think, but you've got to be real careful with that, because they've never been accountable in their lives, many of these people. And we walk in there, and if we think we're their boss, that really doesn't work. It's got to be a partnership accountability rather than a boss type relationship, I think. With that's part of the art of it, I think, as well.
Yeah, but I think I asked a question. This very first coaching session, I always asked, "What type of coach do you want me to be?"
Yeah,
and it'd be amazed the amount of times they say, "Yeah, a really tough one." You know, I can do that. I can do that with bells on.
Absolutely, there you go.
But you might not like it, but I think you got to be able to choose the right time to do that.
Yeah.
And I think in those early days, I know you said accountability, transformational, transactional. In those early days, we are very transactional.
Yes,
absolutely. I think because we have to find our fee. Yeah. We just have to, and that means a very transactional, like do this now. This is what it's gonna. And in those early days, I'll often use the question, right? Do you want me to coach you through this, or do you just want me to tell you what to do?
Absolutely, exactly.
And I can tell they all want to be coached, but they just go, just tell me what to do.
Yeah, so that's right.
You need to put your prices up here. You need to create this thing, and that's fine. And but then I'll always be, how do you feel about that? What's the barrier going to be? Well, I'll always coach them through it that way. But I think we are very transactional in those early days.
I think you're right. It starts off transactional, but it adapts over the time, because once they learn the techniques and the tools and the processes, and I was speaking to a client this afternoon, and when we start the conversation, he goes, right, just shut up and listen to this, and he just takes over, and he goes, right, here's the numbers. It's like the weather forecast, we've done this, here's the curve, we're ahead of the curve here, we're doing this, margin's okay, and he goes, right, there we go, and he'll say, that's the transactional stuff done. Now I'll say, can we move on to something more exciting? But he has to show me those numbers first, and then we look at progress and achievement and next and this sort of thing. But he's proud of it. They're proud to display the results and the numbers with pride, and they send me a note through, done this week, or this is what this is looking like, here's a picture of me doing this, and they do take a pride in their progress, and I think that's part of it. It's not just the hour we spend with them, it's the journey they're on with us as we go along. And I get messages or WhatsApp and this sort of thing, whatever it is, which is great, because we're with them as we go along, and I like to see what they're up to outside of the coaching program.
And that's a great relationship. First, I always, alarm bells start to ring when they stop doing that with me.
Yes.
And they stop emailing me their wins.
Yeah.
I'm always like, what's going on? That's often a great time for me to pick up the phone.
Yes.
And just check in with the relationship. Yeah. Because that is a red flag to me.
Yes.
Because they should be excited to do this with us, I think.
Absolutely. And I think if they get the wins, the early wins, that's when it's proving. I think part of it is proving they've made the right decision to work with the coach. It's like a confirmation of the decision they made, because working with us it's an emotional purchase. Yeah. It's like a hope. It's just we'll try it and see. I think everybody that works with me or with anybody on the call, pretty much what they're thinking of is, well, I'll give it a go.
It's a punt.
As good as it gets.
I'll take a punt on you.
Exactly. We'll take a punt on this guy or this gal. We'll have a go at it. But if we can prove to them that was actually a very good decision, and they realize that they don't know what they don't know, and there's more to go, that's when the long-term relationship comes in. But we've really got to be careful. Again, that's formed during the first 90 days. Yeah,
you made a good point there as well about, he knows exactly what numbers he should be showing you.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who it was now, but somebody said, I'm really successful because I ask myself the same questions every day. Mm-hmm. And just like that, I know we've talked about the structure of a coaching session before, and I have 3 or 4 questions that I ask every time.
Yeah.
So by the end of that first 90 days, hopefully, you would like to think, they know what questions I'm going to ask in general.
Yes.
So they've already got that information. So they're already doing the work before they come on the call.
Yeah.
And the best time is when they go, I know you're going to ask me, what are the numbers telling me?
Exactly.
And they go, well, what are the numbers telling you? Well, I need to do X, Y, and Z. Brilliant. Crack on, type of thing. So.
But also, it is quite good fun when you build a relationship with them, and you get the numbers and whatever the KPIs are, is to drop in a question they've never heard of before.
Yes.
Something. Well, what's this look like then? What's that look like? What's that? What's this? And they go, what? I have no idea. And it's a bit of a shock to sit. Oh my goodness, going to have a look at it. And it's not done to try and trip them up. It's to broaden the the understanding for them. And one of the ones I'd said, we go through the numbers and the KPIs, and I said to him, well, what's in the bank account today at 9 o'clock? He went, I've no idea. I said, well, would it be an idea to know where you got a cash flow forecast, but as a tip, you need to know what's in the bank every day so you can make payroll, so you can pay this and pay that. And now he does a daily bank rec. So first thing in the morning, his first job is checks the bank balance, does a requisite, checks it out, looks at the cash flow implications for the week. He's got absolute control over his cash. And what we know as coaches is what we measure changes, either goes up or it can go down, but it doesn't stay stationary. And what happened for him is when he starts to measure it, it's going up now. Cash is getting stronger because he's not spending it. He's controlling it better. So what we measure and what we manage, it tends to improve rather than anything else. But if it's neglected, it's guaranteed to crash and burn.
I always like to ask a deeper question. So let's take the profit, for example. So okay, are you profitable? Well, I don't know. Right, let's find that out. And then after a few weeks, I'll be saying, okay, so now we know we're profitable. At what point in the year are you profitable?
Yes.
What? Yeah. Oh, I don't know. We'll work that out, right? Okay, now we know that. Now, at what point in the month are we profitable?
Yeah.
Right? Oh, well, let's work it out. Okay, now what point in the week? At what point in the day are you making profit? So everything after 2 o'clock is profit. For example, right? That's a huge motivator for someone.
Absolutely, yes.
So I always think, ask the same questions, plant a couple in there that they've not heard of, but ask the same questions and go deeper. That's
I had a client, and they were in the warehousing, distribution, nuts and bolts business, and we had a big screen in the office, and they used to measure because it was orders intake over the internet and over phone and fax, all this sort of thing. And if they could get to break even by, I think it was 11 o'clock or something like that, whatever it was, break even by 11 o'clock, which was huge. I mean, it's GP, not net, but break even by 11 o'clock. They used to buy the sales team lunch. They'd order it. They'd get the Domino's pizzas or the Chinese, whatever it was. So the team, they would go flat out to 11 o'clock, hit break even, have lunch. And whatever they did in the afternoon, which they always did, they always made the profit in the afternoon. But they could get to break even by 11 on the clock, lunch for the team. But then they knew that then whatever else they did, profit was clear. But they went over past 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock. And the main reason was orders come in beyond maybe 2 or 3 o'clock. You can't get them picked and dispatched. So it falls over to the next day. You got to get them in early, pick, pack, dispatch, and next day delivery. So it was real focus on the front end. That was a real incentive. And the KPI was literally that we had wasn't the numbers. It was how many lunches have you ordered this week. If you'd ordered 4 lunches, life's good because they hit break even before 11 o'clock 4 times a week. But it was fun. It was engaging for the team. It was just a pattern of behavior. Everybody knew about it. And it was a nice touch as well to really reward the team with something exciting.
Yeah, I have a recruitment client. He does almost the same. Thing. Yeah, and it's really cool. And but I also think getting measuring stuff as well like that, right? Like, no business owner ever measures their conversion rate. Well, they think they do. They do in their head, but they don't actually, right? So that's what I'm saying before. It's show me this number, right? Get them measuring the key indicators, the leads coming in, the conversion rate, aka how much profit is each, what's the average sale for each, what profit does that bring you? Getting them measuring those key numbers is key. Absolutely. Because critical. Let's go with critical. Because like you said, what you manage, what you measure, you manage, right? So and often that's the part of business nobody does.
No, right? They're too busy. They don't think it's important.
Yeah. Right. So actually doing that helps to grow their business, helps to put those fundamentals, those foundations in place.
But I think a lot of people, they avoid measuring numbers in their business because they're scared of what they're going to find.
Yeah.
It's just they don't look at the cash position or the whatever it is because they're scared of it. And I think part of our role is to hold them to it and say, okay, well, let's look at the cash position. Let's look at the net profit or whatever it is, the conversion rate, measure it. And it doesn't matter what it is. And there's always, because any number that's bad, actually, from my perspective, is good, because we can always improve it. If conversion rate's only 25%, that's fantastic. Great.
Yeah. I was just about to make that point. I often say great to a client. They go, what do you mean great? I thought I was 90, I'm 25. And they go, well, there's loads of stuff. If your conversion rate is 90, as a coach, I'm screwed.
Exactly. That's right. For that one,
nothing I can do.
Marketing, that's right.
So, I always look for the low numbers. But, I just recently actually had a marketing client who, she was, she's never had any cash in the bank.
Yeah.
She's never had any cash, right? But on paper, doing really well, So, okay, let's put everybody onto a direct debit.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that happens. Never send we've got to set up with Go Cardless and all that kind of stuff. And so that goes out on the invoices now. And all of a sudden, cash position, really good. But, without knowing those metrics, she wasn't measuring, she wouldn't know.
And sometimes it doesn't have to be an improvement in profit, just an improvement in cash position can make them feel a lot better, because it reduces, overdraft and credit cards and feel good factor. That's just not improving profitability, just improving cash can be a big bonus for people as well. So again, these are all the little things to sort of put into the mix. And I think what I've found as well, if I can get the clients together. So we would do regular workshops. We'll do again, when we get back to the UK and Luxembourg, all this sort of thing, regular workshops. And now we're doing regular Zoom workshops. And I forgot everybody's coming. We've got one tomorrow, as we're doing anyway. But if I can get people to get into a new client who joins the pack or the team, they come onto a Zoom call or come to a workshop, and they just become part of the gang. They meet other people and they find out they've got, they're all good people, similar values, similar things. They can maybe sell something to them or buy from them, and they become part of the team. And that because it binds them to us. I think our client teams are extremely important, because it's something else that is of value to them, because they have a network. It's a lonely old place to be in running your own business. And we turn up every week and have a conversation. But if they've got other people in the network they meet, and I know, we get client get-togethers. I enjoy them. I want to meet everybody as well. But I know you can watch the room, and it's great when somebody walks in and they go, oh, hi, Bob, or hi, Karen, or whatever it is. And they're from both opposite ends of the country. And great to see how you're doing, what you're up to. And it's that level of energy and friendship that is part of what we bring. We bring a professional network to people as well. It works on these calls as well, the Zoom calls. And you see, I dread the breakout sessions sometimes. I know nothing gets talked about business, I know that, but it's part of the social thing, and people make good friends. And I think that's part of it as well, because I know everybody on the call here, I'm sure, we attract and work with a very decent bunch of great people. Well, it's good they sort of network and talk to each other. But I think that's really important for the first 90 days as well.
Yeah, and for no other reason, it gives them something tangible to look forward to, right? Because it's very intangible coaching. It gives them something tangible. I had one person come on a 90-day planning, which I would have run in person. I think I do a standard few questions to start. What was good about the quarter? What was bad about the quarter? Why was it bad? Why not a 10? I do all that kind of stuff. And with the new client, pulled me to one side at lunch and said, I can't believe how open people are about their business. I thought everyone was doing really well. But when we were talking about the challenges, they were like, well, this is exactly the challenges I was facing, or I am facing, and I think she'd been in business 25 years at the time. And so she never had that community before, which was really cool. And if they are in those first few weeks, again, it gives them something tangible, but also, they'll meet people who say, oh, have you just started? Oh yeah, we've just started with Gareth, blah, blah. And they go, how's it going? They go, yeah, okay. No results yet. I've been working with them for like 2 days.
20 minutes in.
No results just yet. And they'll always go, it's exactly how we started. We were very unsure. The first few weeks, we didn't realize what was going on, and, we didn't do our homework and all that kind of stuff. And, especially on the 90-day planning, they'll say, our first no one appreciates their first 90-day planning. No one. No one. It's only when they come back the second time and they do things. but they'll have those conversations, which if it came from me, it wouldn't have the same weight.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I think that is really important, to introduce them into the crowd and get those conversations out.
Yeah. I mean, I've had, clients sell for us as well. Maybe I guess not from maybe a prospect along to a workshop, and I've overheard the conversation. They'll just go, "Are you working with Dave?" And they go, "Well, no, we're thinking about it." Well, what are you thinking about? And they tip them over the edge for us, which is that's really helpful. Providing that everybody's happy. That's the power of the 90-day planning. But I think then for new clients coming into the team, they're quite nervous about walking into a room of other entrepreneurs, because I do find a number of people have this sort of imposter syndrome. They don't believe they really should be running their own business, or the level they're playing at, or whatever it is. They're not really deserving of it. And they go into a room of people they perceive to be, very successful and wealthy, and all's great. And they walk in, they're going, "Oh my," but when they find out that actually everybody in the room, they're all doing well, but they've had to sort of crawl over hot coals to get there sometimes, and had the problems and the challenges and the frustrations and all this sort of thing. It makes it like a confidence boost for them. Actually, their self-esteem can improve because they realize everybody's the same. Everybody's got the same frustrations and challenges and things with their business, and they're part of that collective now, which is really helpful for them.
Yeah, I mean, I'll purposefully, on a 90-day planning or a workshop, an event like that, I'll purposefully sit prospects next to good clients.
Yes.
At lunch, for example, because exact conversation I overheard was, "Are you working with Gareth?" "No." "Why not?" And the prospect then, "Well, I don't know," and signed up that afternoon. So I think it's very powerful. Very powerful.
I did a 90-day planning workshop in the UK just some years ago now, and I was working with a lovely guy who's still friends with now, a guy called Mike. He might be watching this, I don't know, at some point. It's Mike Turbit, so he knows what's coming. And he's a martial artist in Birmingham. And we had, we had about 35, 40 people coming along to this event. And I said to Mike, because love him as I do, I said, "Look, we've got some new people coming in, new clients who are going to feel a bit nervous. So just tone it down a bit, because he's very lively in a very positive way, but he's going to be quite lively." Anyway, he said, "Yeah, okay." Anyway, he turns up and he sat there through the workshop. I don't know, Sue and Kev, I don't know if you were there for this, or I'm not sure, but he sat there and I'm talking away, doing all the stuff on the front of the room, and he holds up this banner, and it's this big card, and it just says, "That's bollocks." And he just sat there like that, and he's holding it around the room. Now, of course, he thinks that is hilarious. And if you know Mike Turbit, it's okay, because that's Mike. It's great. But my new client sat there going, "Oh my God, what's going on?" So you do have to be slightly careful with unleashing, because I think we've all got clients that are either a bit more subdued than others, and some that are more lively. I mean, we love them all, but you've got to be careful that there's on that spectrum, that you don't unleash the lively ones on the quiet ones, because that can be a little bit challenging. And it was fine, it was all okay. But because Mike thought this was hilarious, and it was, I get it, it's absolutely fine, but to a new client who's got, anyway, so just be slightly careful. So thanks, Mike, if you're watching this. I'm going to send him a copy of this, and he's been mentioned in dispatches.
Yeah. I think, I mean, first 90 days, quick wins, find your fee, make sure you're free, and then you can go into the fun stuff. Yes, that's my and introduce them to the culture. Yes. I think that's
and I think as well, I always we have a reward for the first 90 days, but they get a win. What are they going to treat themselves to, or whatever it is? And I've discovered as well that a win is not lunch with me. The last person they want to have lunch with is the coach. It's like having lunch with a boss if you're not careful. But some sort of win or reward. Maybe they're going to go away for the weekend, or go out for dinner, or I'll buy them a bottle of wine or something, just a bit of a celebration, acknowledgement of the work that they've done. Because people in business, they never win any awards. There's loads of awards out there, but the gals who own the business, or the guys who own the business, they don't get the award. It's going to be somebody in the marketing department or something like that. So give them a badge of honor or something like that to go with it, perhaps. Fantastic. Okay, so we've done my voice is going. I've been on. I'm too old for this sort of pace. I tell you, my voice is going. So we'll open it up if that's okay. Any more points? I'm going to happen to open it up to to the gang for questions?
I'm happy to, yes, take questions. Yeah.
So anybody, any questions, please just unmute and jump in and see what we can do. Any tricky questions, go to Gareth. Easy ones, give them to me.
I want to know next week, Dutch, when I've done my homework, am I getting a treat like a dog?
Yes, you're going to get a bonio.
A bonio, yeah, brilliant, fabulous, yeah.
I'll pat you on your head if you like. It helps. Yeah. It helps.
Yeah.
I had a question.
Yeah.
It's related to a call I had just before. I was talking with American people, and I am European, and I could see so much difference into the, hey, this is amazing and stuff, and we got so excited and stuff, and I was like, yeah, this is me, blah blah dot. I was done, it was really short. Do you adjust your communication during those 90 days and the excitement and the energy you put in it, depending on the culture of the person you're talking to? Because you guys are doing a lot of international coaching.
Yes. I gotta say yes. Gareth, go on. Yeah, jump in, but yes.
Yeah, well, simple answer, yes. Yeah. I think it's I will tailor how I am to each client. I'll know what they need. I mean, sometimes it's not feeding off their energy. Sometimes it's trying to be the opposite. So it's, if they're really depressed, I'll go really excited, or try to anyway.
So this is your quiet one, and today you're very quiet, and with some people you'll go a bit full on. But right now we're having the shy, quiet Gareth. That's
this is it. This is the guy as well.
Yeah,
see, this is the low energy, subdued.
Yeah, it's the end of the
evening.
I've had to talk to David at least once today. So
but the things, and I know exactly what you mean about, I'll call it the Americans, love them as we do, but they are very high energy. That's awesome. That's amazing. Have a great day. And, hey, buddy, you rock, and this sort of thing. It's okay, great. Thanks very much. I try and keep a sort of a tolerance band, so I can, within my tolerance band, I can be calm and subdued and thoughtful over here, lively and energizing over here. But if I'm speaking to somebody who's going, high five me down the camera and this sort of thing, two things. One, they're probably not a client of mine because we wouldn't fit well together, but I'm not going to go up to that sort of level. I'm not going to try and mimic them. I'll try and mirror them in terms of communication, pace and style. But yeah, if somebody's using particular phrases, I don't really get. I have a client in Australia, and so I will be on the call at 8 o'clock in the morning here, and for them it's like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So he's having a barbie and he'll relaxed and chilled out, and I'm freezing cold over here in the middle of winter, having a cocoa, and he's there. Yeah, this is great, mate, on the beach, and it's not on the beach over here. So you can match and mirror as much as you can. But I don't mimic that. I don't do that. I keep my own, I think, sort of style and personality. I'll raise my energy levels, and that can be done with, intonation of voice, use of humor, for example, something like that. That's okay. Certain words I will use, but I won't, go down the full caffeine American. When I got over to we moved over to the US, went to a conference, and I went to everybody hugs everybody over there. It's insane. So I walk in there going from the Shropshire Shires as a little British bloke, and, hey buddy, give me a high. Oh my God, these are big Texan lads, you can't really argue with them. And it's like, crikey. So, which is all good. I get it, it's all good, but you have to be balanced, I think, with it. So be careful.
Well, I have to say, one thing that happens quite a lot to me, and in fact it happened today, is the first question I'll ask on a coaching session is, so what's been great this week? Mm-hmm. Right? Because I want to get them up there to start the coaching. So what's been great this week? And what happened today was they went, well, tell you what wasn't great. Somebody handed in their notice. I got this bill. I got that. And I'm like, come on. And I was like, didn't you win a £500,000 contract on Friday?
Exactly.
But you're like, come on. But then my goal is to get them back up. Yeah. And I won't move on until they tell me something great. I won't move on from that question until they've told me something good.
Yeah. I used the question, by the way. You said last week that you start with what's been great this week, and I used that. if anything, to remind them, because sometimes if you're in the business and you're working so hard, you can lose sight of your successes.
Yeah.
Or they look minimal, and it's
You
to
gotta
remind
celebrate
them
the-
what they've done. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to celebrate their wins.
Yeah. So no, that I started that one because not just to
what's
get the
been
energy high,
great,
but to remind them.
There is another reason behind doing that, though. In actual fact, when they're in their stuff, when they're with very low energy. So you need to, when you can raise their energy, that's when the creativity will kick in to find solutions. Yeah. So that's another reason why you get them focused on the wins.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if I'm just about to problem solve with somebody, I'll say, what do you need to get over a 6-foot wall? Yeah, give me everything you need to get over a 6-foot wall. They go ladder, rope, climb, blah blah. I go, great. Now we're in that mindset. How are we gonna tackle this problem?
Yeah.
Right. And then if it's another problem, there's another problem later on in the coaching session. I'll say, okay, how would you get over a 100-foot wall? They go, well, longer ladder. I'm like, yeah, brilliant. Okay, now we're in the problem-solving mindset, if that makes sense. And that's the reason for doing that first question. The very next question I'm going to ask them is, what's been a challenge?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. But try and get them in that winning mindset.
I had this, when you get the energy up, they're more open to sharing and being honest, and they're more more open with their sort of emotions as well. And I had this is going back probably about a month ago now, and this guy said, of course, well, I can't sell. And I said to him, who's told you that? And because we'd had the the gentle intro and ups and this sort of thing, I said, well, who's told you can't sell? And he immediately said, my dad. And he went and he paused and he said, my God, he said, I've never realized that, but it was my dad who told me I can't sell or couldn't sell. And off he went, and off it came. And you sort of, we tend to go down then the sort of the psychology route if we're not very careful. But he realized he'd been given this script by his dad. And I said to him, well, is it true? He went, no, it's not, is it? And he talked himself in and out of it and went through it. But that, again, the energy up, and then asking a simple question and challenging them on it. I don't believe you, or who's told you that, whatever it is. If the energy's up, they won't shut down. They'll just blurt it out. It was really, it was really interesting. And he said, I've never realized that before. He knew it, but never really sort of contextualized it. And he actually he had a conversation, he took his dad out for dinner or something. And he had that sort of a very nice, gentle discussion with him and said, look, you told me these things. I had a really big, and his dad said, that was never my intention. He said, well, and of course it never was, is what he picked up from it. And he said, his dad he said, you're a rock star. You can do whatever you want, blah, blah. And it really helped. And he came back the week after with a validation from his dad that he didn't feel that he had before. And so simple little things like that can have dramatic effects on people's view and well-being. I mean, you can't do that every week with people, but having the energy up and the rapport enables us, I think, to open those sort of questions up.
Yeah.
So anyway, does that answer your question, Maria? I'm not sure. That was excellent. Okay, great. Good.
On the quick wins, which you said, which makes perfect sense, and especially as a business coach, make it your aim to have your fee recovered. Now, is that part of? I would think it is, or I think I would do it that way. Is actually say, my aim is to very quickly to have your fee recovered, have my fee recovered. So
Absolutely.
You actually make, rather than make it your own quick win. But actually say it. This is my goal as much as it should be yours.
Absolutely.
There's a mutual commitment to this. They're not just. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Sure
I think
the same thing. You tell them.
I think some coaches won't have that conversation because they don't believe they can do it. Because they're so grateful to get a client, they go, thank goodness for that, and then they forget they've got to actually perform as well. But if I would say to people, look, my objective is to be free within 90 days, whatever it is, whatever the deal is, if you like, and then they go, and then of course now you've got to do it, and they say, well, how are we going to do that? So if you do what I show you, and you do your homework, you do this and you do that, you're going to do it, aren't you? You go, yeah. So. And look, we're not that expensive. I mean, we are, but we're not that expensive. If we can't find 1,000 a month in a business turning over $250,000, flipping heck. I mean, we want, So we can certainly find that.
I'm very open about it. I will say, I will, you'll, after 6 months, I'll be free. You'll be earning more money than you're paying me.
Yeah.
Or I will give you your money back.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very open. Or, well, I say two things. I can give you your money back, or I can work for free until you are making money and making more money than me.
But surely you can only say that when they commit to it. Same as people who go on a diet and buy the bloody books and have weigh-ins. But they've
got to do the work. Oh, yeah, they've got to do the work.
They've got to show up, they've got to participate.
I always position that as the only bit of small print to this is you've got to do your bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They have to. They have to.
I'll say,
the deal's off.
Yeah, and I'll say something like, look, you can give me 30 days notice, but I can give you 30 days notice. And if you're not doing your work, I don't want you as a client, because I only work with people who get results.
Yeah.
All right. So they've got to hold up their end of the bargain. But I know within 6 months, and I definitely, within 3 months, actually, I can definitely recoup my fee.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Because the businesses are so inefficient. They just are, whether they need more sales or just more profit or cash or whatever it is. There's always fine tuning. There's inefficiencies in every business, and when you start to look at it, you just squeeze it a bit, and then you find another grand a month appears from somewhere. It's pretty straightforward. It sounds like a big promise, but genuinely it's not really, because just by doing a few tidying up the loose ends around the edges, that can generate enough. Getting the debts down, for example, getting the bank balance up, getting credit card costs down, or it may be that what you may find if a company is sales rich, cash rich, profit strong, but time is a real challenge for them. Well, it may be the currency that they're interested in is time, not only money. Well, maybe so. Look, I'm going to get you and your family to have the weekend off within 3 months, guaranteed. And you can leave your phone at home. You can afford to go, not be stressed about it. You can take the family away, and you're going to feel good about it. They go, yeah, that'd be great. So it doesn't have to. 9 times out of 10 is money, but it can be time and feel good as well.
I think my only caveat to that is if it is time, or a intangible asset, I get them to put a monetary value on it.
Sure.
So I'll say, so you take your wife away for a holiday. What's that worth to you?
Yeah.
What's the number? 40K, 50K. Yep. And then that becomes my target then, because I think I need to have something to aim for. They need something to hang their hats on, and that's just me. But
absolutely.
Yeah, it's. I'm tempted. Yeah, I'm tempted to do a double your money back guarantee. I don't know.
Oh, steady. Don't go mad.
Yeah.
Don't go mad.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we'll see. I need to talk to my coach about it.
Okay, good. Send him an objective sheet. You'll think about it.
What? An objective. Sorry, I'll write that down.
Excellent. Okay, good. So yeah, great question. Okay, anything else? Any other burning issues, questions, thoughts?
Anything from the Gallaghers?
No.
Gosh,
are you in the same house at the moment?
Well, this is the secret to a long marriage. Separate rooms.
Separate houses.
Separate locations, separate counties. Separate countries.
In fact, Gareth, we did a video on it.
I saw that. That was very cool.
I think I saw that video actually. Yeah.
Sue, you've got to do the cheese sandwich for dinner video. I mean,
cheese sandwich, half a dozen mouldy grapes and a bottle of water. Yeah.
It's like being in
living the dream.
Being in prison. Goodness sake.
Now, I just got one comment and another question. I can't remember who said it, but train the right behavior and no late emails. And I've fallen in that trap because I'm I'm somebody who does quick things in between.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much have trained everybody I ever worked with that you can always contact me at any time.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do this. And I'm clawing that back a bit. But I have fallen it because there's a difference with your colleagues or with your partners or with your children.
Yeah.
But with this, I have fallen, I have to say, in that trap. But I am clawing it back.
Yeah, good.
I would say that email me at any time I might not respond to you straight away because I've got other clients and I'm doing other things, stuff like that. But I'll always get back to you within 24 hours.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I run it. Nobody's ever, dropped me as a client.
Of course they wouldn't, but if they start to realize if you actually do respond very quickly, apart from the fact that it sends the message that you are their own client, which is not the case, but it's just the wrong thing to do. You create a dependency.
It's a bad habit to fall into.
It's a bad habit.
Everyone's done it. I think everyone's done it.
Yeah,
everyone's done it. It's.
But I had if I'm working on Zoom, I have my phone not off, but vibration off, noise off, because I have to have it on so the WhatsApp thing works. Because some people call on WhatsApp anyway. But I'm sat there and I remember this happened, that the phone, having a conversation with a client and the phone rang. I didn't see it, but it sort of lit up and this sort of thing, and I just ignored it. I had another call afterwards, and about 2 or 3 hours later, I went back and I phoned the client back and said, sorry, I missed your call. I was onto another client with another call. And he was almost sort of, oh, you've got other clients, have you? Well, yes, I do have a number of clients. It was as if I was betraying him, I was sort of cheating on him by daring to speak to another client. And he was fine. He got over it, but it was that sort of, it told me a lot about his personality, this sort of controlling, dominating sort of character. And he wanted me to be at his sort of beck and call, which is easy trap to fall into. And he was fine after that. He was absolutely fine with it. But he could see, he was thinking, wow, he's got other clients. Well, I thought I was important. I said, everybody's important, but I'm on a call. I'm not going to, anyway. So yeah, watch out for that as well. A bit protective.
That's how I make my business profitable. I know you've got a good story about this, David. I've certainly had it before where, they try and move their appointment.
Yeah.
And I have a set diary. I run a default diary.
Yeah.
I have a set slots. You book in the same slot every week. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
And then life happens, and I get life happens, but they try to move their appointment and they go, can you do 4? No, because I've got a client at 4.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, you want to do tomorrow? That's the only thing. So yeah, that's another good behavior not to train is the.
I have a default setting for that, and if somebody says sometimes, if somebody says, look, I'm stuck, can't make it, could we any chance of rescheduling, I'll go, okay, well, you know what, let's do it here or whatever. That's absolutely fine. I get that. That's absolutely okay. If it becomes a bit of a habit, we had an exec client every week it'll be like 20 minutes notice. Oh, I'm really sorry, I can't do this and I can't do that, any chance? And of course it was doubling up the time for us. It was crazy. So I said to him, look, I can't decide when your calls are going to be. It has to be Lynn. So don't email me, email Lynn. And he went, oh no, because Lynn's not, those who know Lynn, she's a little bit more direct maybe than I am with people, rightly so. And then from then on, the threat of Lynn being the one to talk to, he was bang on time after that. So I'll just wheel Lynn out as the threat sometimes. And that tends to fix it. So don't tell Lynn that, of course, I'll be in trouble, but there we go.
It's quite good. Last week, I got a client of mine who's on holiday this week to finally divide her phone. So she got a second phone, and now this is the works number, and this is her personal number.
Yeah.
She's gone on holiday, and I do randomly sort of message clients throughout the week, and I messaged her and said, how's it going? And then I messaged her this morning, it's beautiful sunshine here, I hope it is there. And she's not responding. So either she has done what I said she should do and leave it at work, or she's just ignoring me.
Exactly.
So
don't get paranoid. She's left it at work. She's left it at work.
She's left it at work.
I sent a WhatsApp message through. Somebody's having a long weekend away. They're going on the Thursday night and coming back on the Monday night, something like that. And I just sent a little WhatsApp, have a great weekend, relax. And he got really freaked out by that. He phoned me, he said, what do you mean? He said, shouldn't I be going on holiday? I said, yeah, of course you should be going on holiday. He wasn't being sarcastic. I was being genuine, just have a nice weekend. He went, you sure? He was really sort of so tightly wound. He thought I was being sarcastic about him going away. That's why he needs to get away for the weekend, of course. But anyway. We should write a book. We should write a book on this stuff, really. But still.
Yeah, Revenge of the Client.
Revenge of the Client.
Oh, I've got it.
It shouldn't
Yeah.
happen. It shouldn't happen to a coach. Goodness.
Yeah.
Sake.
We're totally doing that.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
I do a book on marriage guidance.
Yeah. Don't make cheese sandwiches for dinner is probably the chapter 1.
Half a cheese sandwich, half a cheese sandwich. Yeah.
Half a cheese sandwich.
Oh, what kind of cheese was it?
Goodness sake.
Cheddar.
Mousetrap. You get mousetrap, eh? You get mousetrap cheese. Half a sandwich. Goodness sake.
Well, at least you will act with integrity then, Sue. The one thing I hate about people who write books on subjects that have no nothing. If I start writing a book on marriage counseling, marriage guys, that's when you need to start worrying. So, at least write that book. There will be plenty of women.
It'd either be a very, very short book or a very, very long one, wouldn't it? Let's face it.
If I write my marriage counseling book, yeah.
If Sue writes a book, it's going to be heavy enough to hit me with.
Well, I have got.
Oh, it's going to be hurt when she throws it at me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have got 40 odd years to write about, haven't I? So.
Yeah.
40
Yeah.
years.
Good on you.
Gosh. And after 40 years, you got half a cheese sandwich, Kev. I'm devastated.
And if you hadn't died, I'd have been getting a Prince of Edinburgh award next year.
What, in making cheese sandwiches?
No.
Catering for the masses.
No. Putting up with it.
Goodness sake. Well, you two are going to have a lovely
I'm in
evening, I
trouble.
can tell. We might not see you again. So,
Yeah.
okay, so I think we're up
A domestic on the
exactly,
Celebrity
a domestic
Squares.
on Zoom, and you're being recorded. All right, so be careful. Be careful. I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
going to edit it out. So, the church bell is just chiming here in the village, and I don't know why it does this. It must be a French thing, but at 7 o'clock, which is in the morning, and 7 o'clock in the evening, they ring at 5 past. I don't know why. There must be something about, I don't know, but not on the hour. It's 5 past the hour they start chiming off. But anyway, never mind. All right, so we'll wrap it up. We're just about on the hour. So great to see everybody. Thank you for coming on the call. We're back next week. I'll send the invitations out. So I'll get it set up probably tomorrow. Send it out again. And any questions, any thoughts, just ping me a message or drop down.
What are we talking about next week, David? So I can
I have
prepare.
absolutely no idea. Now, I think what we're going to do, I think because we're in the 90 days, I think we're going to look at just retention. How long should you keep a client for? What is the longevity of a client? When's it okay to, not release, but when do you come to a natural parting of the ways? Or if that happens, or are we in this for the long term? How do we build and develop the changing relationship with clients? So I think long-term coaching will be the next one for us to have a look at for next week.
Great.
Phew, thought of that one on the spot. Look at that. No, we have a content plan for this. We absolutely.
So you give me the first question. I'm going to give you the last question.
There you go. Thanks. Yeah, I had no clue. Brilliant. All right, guys. Thank you. Great to see you. Have a lovely evening. I've got a glass of wine downstairs. Apparently.
Can I steal you for 1 second, Dave?
I'm sorry?
Can I have you for 1 minute? So
yeah, of course you can. Yeah. So let me just pause the recording. Everybody else will jump out, and yeah, absolutely, I'm around. So let me just pause this. So pause.